Creative Educator community, and welcome back to the Adobe Creative Educator live stream show. I'm so excited about today's show. I'm Tanya Abrith. I will be your host slash moderator today. We have an awesome group of people that are joining. For those of you that don't know, I know a lot of you join every week. As you're joining, please feel free to go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat, get to know each other. A lot of you come every week and you join, so it's so awesome to see you back here. But little something that I might not have ever shared before is that I'm actually also a Google Innovator, and I'm so excited because the Innovator community is such an incredible community, and I still consider myself an innovator, even though I'm also, part of the team at Adobe, because that community is one that is so strong. And so today we have an amazing lineup of guests who are the founders of the GEG Global community, and they're going to explain, because there's a bit of nuance and I want to make sure that I don't kind of complicate the whole thing. But I'm going to bring them on right now, and we're going to learn more about this incredible, wacky, insanely powerful community. So let me bring everyone in. Hello. Hello, welcome. I'm so excited. I would love for you guys really quickly introduce yourself. Tell us where you're joining from today, and I guess we can kind of start in order. What do you think? We can go.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, I'm Bonnie Chalette. I am in the lovely East Baton Rouge Parish School System in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, all the way at the bottom of it. I'm a co-founder of the Global GEG, and I run the GEG South Louisiana.
That's so great to have you. And by the way, this is live shows, and it's back to school. So that's all good. Go ahead, Stephanie, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie Howe. I'm an instructional technology coach for Pickerington Local School District in Ohio. I am the co-leader of GEG Ohio, and then also one of the founding members of Global GEG.
I'm not on mute anymore. Okay. My name is Luis Pertuz. I come from Barranquilla, Colombia, South America, just in case. Not Colombia, South Carolina, is it? Yeah, South Carolina.
I spelled it once wrong a year ago. Once.
No. It wasn't. I didn't say it because of you. And it's Colombia with an O, not with a U.
Come on, Lewis.
Like British Columbia, which is something completely different. Okay. I'm also one of the co-founders of Global GG. I am a Google certified innovator from New York City, 2019.
Oh, nice.
Hi, I'm Leslie Altman. I'm from Australia Down Under. I am a digital learning coach, and I went to Sydney 19 Innovator with Stephanie, and I met Stephanie there. I haven't met any of these other ones in person. It's just all facade.
Oh, that's amazing. And 2019 seems like 20 years ago, right? Doesn't it? That's awesome. And last but certainly not least, go ahead.
Of course not. I mean, I haven't done this for ages, so has to be done, isn't it? It's me. It's me. It's the A, B, I, and the D. Yes. I am back after an awful long time off with COVID. But I'm Abid Patel. I'm from London, here in the UK. I am truly the crazy one, joining at 20 to 1 in the morning. But yeah, I'm an IT director of a multi-academy trust, and I'm from the London 19 cohort, which of course everyone knows is the best cohort.
Oh my goodness, guys!
We've got one missing person, a very special Stephanie Rothstein, who went to the academy with Bonnie, and we're missing her, but she's just started a brand new job, and she is in an important meeting that she couldn't get out of.
I was supposed to print out her face and put it right here, but I know I failed.
Well, I'm so excited to have all of you here. It feels like family, and I'm just meeting a lot of you for the first time, and that's kind of what makes like our community is so wonderful, right? Community in general is just so wonderful because when you share that passion for what you do and you meet your people, it just feels so right, doesn't it? Which kind of leads me to ask you guys, like, you're here today as GEG Global, you're on the Adobe Creative Educator show. Community is community and communities are powerful together. So for those who are not familiar with like the GEG community, can you share a little bit about that community? Like, who are you?
Okay, we are born of a need, which is the best way of trying to explain what we are. GEGs are Google Educator groups, which by all means is a misnomer because it is basically an educator group. Google is just like, I'd love to say our sponsor, but they don't pony up anything. They just give us their name and they let us use it. And global educator groups, we are a global GEG in the sense that we were all wanting to belong to a bigger group and we wanted to help other people create that sense of a community and establish one. And there weren't back then, back then sounds a long time ago, it was a year and a half ago, people didn't really know how to get started. And we came together as a way of trying to help others out to do what we wanted to do.
That was when the COVID started.
Yes, that's my baby boy saying that was when the COVID started.
And I think too, like Avid and I met through an epic dance party. And so we connected that way, and it was through Twitter. It was online. Twitter got Leslie somehow tagged into this mess. And then we were really kind of empowered by this word GEG at the Innovator Academy. I think that was kind of like part of the 2019, like, hey, we should get these up and running, and this group's going to do it. And so we were all like, oh, yes, community, because when we were at Innovator, the amount of people I met that were amazing and those like Saturday type teachers is what I needed, because in a school district, you don't always have those passionate and like, I want to change education kind of teachers. And so when we went to this Innovator Academy, we found our people. And through that, we connected on Twitter and we started to connect with other cohorts, which kind of led us to where we are today. And Luis, I cut you off, so sorry.
Don't worry. The other thing is, well, let's let Abid do it because it's late. He's sleeping.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing, but hey ho. For me, it was just like Stephanie said, finding your people and being able to just continue those relationships, because we find that we're the kind of members of staff in schools that are the ones who are kind of alone in our innovative thinking and trying to push the bar and moving people into uncomfortable things. And I always say, for me, it's even more elevated because I'm not a teacher. I'm the IT guy, and we're usually the ones who everyone hates because we're the ones that block everything. And
we still hate you.
They change the printer toner. That's all they do.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Exactly. So I for me, it was like, I really, really want to find my people, because like in a school, you've got your people, effectively the teachers, whereas I'm just the lone IT guy, and just being able to connect with other people through and finding those people who share that passion and that same mindset as you. That's what I think was so special about Innovator. And then once that 3-day Innovator experience ended, all we wanted to do was just continue that experience and find more people. And like immediately you've suddenly you go into the Innovator hashtag, hashtag Google EI, and then you just connect with more and more people who have gone through that same experience. And then that's how most of us met. All of us as a group still haven't met in person, hopefully soon, very soon, someday. But that's how we all came together. And that's the GEG aspect of it was just one aspect of us, of it bringing up.
I actually
I think it's important to quickly. I'm coming. I think it's important to quickly say that the Google Educator groups, you can find them regionally. They're all around the world. They're somewhere near you. There is a hierarchy, the Google Program Manager, and then there are all the leaders and the co-leaders, and sometimes captains, depending on how many people are in that group. It's all volunteer based. And it's also important to explain that global GEG is not in that vertical authoritarian structure. We're just like, we're a gaggle, I suppose, a gaggle of GEG leaders that are horizontally placed right around the world. And it's like a professional learning network on steroids. And so don't think we are Google. Don't think we are in charge of anyone. It's an organic, we grew organically, which is really exciting to understand.
And I think the fun bit about how Global GG actually came about was it was the EdTech Smackdown that Stephanie had organized, and then we had loads of
No, wait, sorry, that's one of the first things we did together. But
but what happened was.
But how many logos did we have on that?
The advert,
like all of them.
We were doing the poster, and then they were just like, "Oh, can I put my GEG? And can I put my GEG?" And then it's like we had a whole the entire poster was just being taken up by.
Go back one. Before we were Global GEG, we were something else.
I haven't said that yet.
Okay. The most awesome thing about the Google Certified Innovator Program is that we are really open to finding other people who are just as crazy as we are. And we are all little different brands of crazy. Stephanie's crazy. Leslie's crazy. Abid is certainly crazy. Bonnie, come on, y'all.
Bonnie's got to move us along, guys. She's not as, we got to go on.
Okay, but still, the whole thing is that we came together from different cohorts from the same year. And one of the people we sort of helped get into Innovator, because we all cooperate, I reached out to Abid's group so that they would help me make my application, and we helped other people out. And one of these people during Sweden, in a bar at night with the influence of a couple of pints of beer, they sat down to the people who run this thing, and they said, "You know what? I know who the perfect coaches for next year are." And she started mentioning names. And we came together as a Twitter group, and we started saying, we're going to be the best coaches ever. And Global GG came out of a drunken conversation.
None of that is right. Like, none of it. So we started because we all launched our local GGs. Steph H already had one. But so Stephanie R, who's not here, launched GEG NorCal, and we were all on that live stream.
We all helped.
Yes, and then right after that, we launched GEG South Louisiana, and then we almost had a framework. We had a slide deck that how many people used, and then all of these other people we helped launch theirs.
Oh wow!
That's the real story.
It was so we were so exhausted doing 24-hour helping other people. We kept saying, hang on, if we're going to help you, can you come and help us help someone else?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love. Oh my gosh, I love this.
And I think that's it. Like Leslie said, there's a GEG probably in your location, and it's so true. They popped up a lot during COVID, throughout that whole year. And if there's not one, this is your invitation to create and start that community.
Okay, so I have a question for you, and it's a little off the questions, but I have to ask this. What do you think drives this community? Why would somebody spend all this time?
Passion.
Right. So I'm curious, because it's so foreign to so many people to understand. My dog might bark. I'm just letting you know. This is live. We're doing it. But I think it's so hard for other people to understand. We're teachers. It's midnight. You guys started school this week. Here you are on this show. You're so passionate. We have a national crisis of a pandemic. You're helping other. What do you think it is? Why do we do these things? What do you think is really at its core?
I think it's passion and a little bit of Vegemite for Leslie, but also during COVID, I couldn't handle just my school district alone. Like there was so many questions and so many resources, and I couldn't do it alone. And because of the community that Global GEG became, we did a Google Junior training series. And I only had to create one video. And everybody else in our community added to it. And then we had this whole series that I could send out to my teachers, to my parents, to my families, that they could watch. And again, like I know it seems like a lot of work, but when you've got a bunch of people that are also excited, it cuts down a lot of work as well.
70 people working together doing something each, and Google saw our view count on YouTube, and marketing said to us, how are you getting all of those views? Like 20,000 views on your first couple of videos. And we really had to say, look, COVID, unfortunately COVID helped, because everyone was thrown into this place where we weren't trained for.
They had to learn.
Knew a little bit about everything, something, and together we were a team who knew a lot about a lot of things. And when I was trying to make sense of it, I went and I tried to find some understanding, and I found a guy called Rory Vaden, and he's a motivational speaker for business communities. And I don't know anything about business. I mean, I've been in education since I was 4.5. So, I mean, I didn't understand what he was talking about, but one sentence he said was, we are most powerfully positioned to serve the people we once were.
Oh.
Isn't that strong? I mean, I was scrolling through Instagram and I thought, whoa, who's this guy? So we are most powerfully positioned to serve the people we once were. Last week, we may not have known or needed to know a feature about one of the software platforms, but now we need to know it. So last week we didn't know it, we learnt it, so let's share that. And that's what a lot of these influencers do. They learn something and then they put it out to their audiences.
One of the best things that came out of this group was at the beginning, where COVID is just rearing its ugly head. One of our good friends, Stephanie's private developer, he works for the New York. He works for New York City Department of Education, and he was coming up with like a boilerplate COVID, like a COVID let's go to remote plan, and he shared that with us, and we could distribute that plan to other schools who wanted to like institute a plan for them to go remote. And that really helped not only us and our schools, but other schools all around the world, because we had like a blank plan that people could adapt to their needs. And that came out of
reaching out,
community of people sharing, which is awesome.
I think I knew who that was, but it's true, because if New York can do it, New York's the largest. Like if it was New York City, was it NYC? Yeah. So if New York is going to implement anything with 1.2 million students, then if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, right? Like that's the saying. So that is really powerful. I'm very curious. Like I know that our community that's watching is they might be part of other communities, right? Like they might be part of Microsoft community. They might be part, because very often like you kind of you tend to go with the platforms that you use. But I'd like to think that like community is community, and like you join it because you share something. But for those people who are watching, like what are the things that you have seen this community do to help teachers? Like what are some of the things that are very like GEG oriented, but that other people can still continue to participate in, even though perhaps maybe they're not Google per se?
One of the things that I like to complain about when we talk about Google Educator groups is the word Google in it. It tends to scare people away. But at the end, we're all educators and we're all working for a common goal, which is the kids and other teachers. So whatever we find that you can help, we don't only work with Google tools. We have on our YouTube channel, we have stuff on Wakelet, we have stuff on WeVideo, we do stuff on everything. It's just that we happen to have like a Google thing in there somewhere.
I love it.
One of the things, like taking it away from the tools and the platform completely, one of the earliest events that started with Global GEG, and then and still continues to this day is the Global GG staff room. So one of our leaders, Kat Lamin, who was recently awarded the title of EduFuturist Wellbeing Champion of the Year. She started the Global GG staff room, and it was just a place for educators to get together and kind of like us people, the people who are kind of pushing the bar. And then suddenly, as COVID hit, we were then bombarded with, oh, I need your support, and I don't know what remote learning is, and I need you to help me, and what is this edtech malarkey, and how am I going to teach, and with all of my children at home, and I haven't got the faintest clue. And we were overwhelmed, and the staff room was just a place for us to sort of get together and just talk, just being able to share how we were feeling and being able to listen to others. And I think that was one of the things that really kick-started that community. A lot of the connections that weren't GG related came through there. And we will talk about platforms and school and things like that. That's inevitable, just like you would in a real life staff room. But it was a place for just people to get together and just see other people as well, because obviously we were all in lockdown, and we weren't seeing people. We were missing those vital connections, and we were so worried about how are the children going to connect, and how are the people going to connect, but we weren't even thinking about us, the people who are sort of facilitating it. And
each one of us was a minority in our own communities. And see, the 4 pillars of GEG is to empower, inspire, to share, and to learn. So we carry that through everything that we do.
And then like technology integration, like when teachers are planning, it should be tool agnostic. They're supposed to think of like their goal and their objective first. So yeah, like everybody said, if we're coming up with strategies for collaboration with students, you have to figure out what you want to do, and then maybe find the tool to model it.
Oh,
And
for
I
sure.
think too, like we all have different skills. Luis is really good at spreadsheets. Abid has that IT mind, and so he did some sessions for the Google Admin Console and like thinking of beginner like level admins and that kind of stuff, where I'm just like pedagogy, with technology, and Leslie and her wisdom, and Bonnie is able to present like with Google Arts and Culture and have like a whole new take on education that I don't have that perspective. But because of them, I look like a rock star in my district, and people are just like, "Oh,
it's
like
true. That's right. We're all enablers, for other people as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important, that we enable people to grow and to learn. I mean, people come along and say, oh, I'll just have a go at some graphics. And then what they're doing is really great. And then they get boosted, their confidence and their skill gets boosted. And now they are our rock star graphic creators.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is,
okay.
The other thing is it still goes back to the community and stuff like staff room, which I've already mentioned. The best thing about staff room is that you realize that your insanity that goes on in your school and all those weird and awkward situations are universal. As different as we are, as different culturally that everybody else is, the problems that I'm having down here in Colombia in the middle of everything are the same that Leslie was having in Australia, that Abid was having in London, and Bonnie was having in Louisiana. It's insane. It's like education is different, but it's the same all over.
I love like this work that you guys are doing so much. I think it's so powerful, especially with, like you said, like it's just been such a rough year and a half for educators, and to be able to find your people, the people that you can, rely on, that you share passion with, is so powerful. I want to make sure that people who are watching know how to like where do they go to connect? Like, where would you direct people to get started? And you mentioned a few things. You said staff room, you said a few pieces, like what are some of the pieces that are the connective tissue that you're referring to? Because I don't even know, like when you say staff room, I don't know what you mean by that. So like, how are people congregating? Like, where can they go to connect with you?
We've got a lot of stuff on social media. We have been getting a few. We have a Google group, and I've seen a few emails lately to our group saying like, "How do we join this group?" And I'm like, "Well, you're in it. If you want to be in it, you know, like follow us on Twitter. We've got a really good group of people that run the Instagram. You know, like our website, and you know, like we just had some big events." And if you want to like come present or you want to join in, like we're open for that. Like come on present. You know, we'll give you a platform.
The
And
other
I
good
think
thing,
what you just said, Bonnie, is we give people a platform, and there's people that were like, I am never going to present in front of anybody. And we're like cheering them on. And there's so many people that have gained leadership skills because they have that success and that cheering of that community. They know if they're going to present on our platform, there's going to be people in the chat cheering them on.
the other thing is, don't be afraid to go out on social media, whatever your social media of choice is. We got together to Twitter, but we already have Facebook, we have Instagram. Some insane person in Global GG might be doing TikTok. I don't know. And then and this grows, and we're going. It's and reach out. Most educators, most innovators, most people in GEGs are really nice people. They
You're
will
welcome
answer.
to come run our TikTok. Like
Yeah.
like
Absolutely. Absolutely. But people are there waiting to help and to go find them on one of those social media platforms. I started just before we started Global GEG, I was doing open chat with trainers, open chat with innovators. So, and now there's open chat with coaches that Becky is doing, just taking it to another level. But it was because I was too shy to go and ask someone really important like an innovator or a trainer to say, hey, I want to do this. Can you just check over my application? Can you listen to my video? And I was too shy to do that. And I didn't realize that like these people are there willing to help. It's not exclusive. They want people to be able to train and grow leadership skills. And so, you know, reach out through those social media channels. Have a look at our website, because that we've got, you know, events, YouTube, all our recent events, things that Google has asked us to work through, and of course other companies as well.
There's a phrase I love to use to define people like educators and trainers in our community is I like to mention the like-minded wackos mentality. You will find people that are just as crazy as you are, and it's the best way of working it out, because we all work at schools and we all feel that we're like the odd ducks, and this group is full of odd ducks, and it's home, it's family, it's awesome.
Well, I have to say to you guys, this has been such a great half an hour to spend with all of you. As I mentioned early when we started the show, I am GTA 9 NYC 2012. So almost a decade, which is like crazy to think about that. Like next year will be 10 years that I joined this community, and in the last decade it changed my life. And I always said this, like, I went to Google Teacher Academy in 2012. I didn't even have Google Apps at my district at the time. I was an innovative educator. I was implementing digital citizenship at the time. That was really important, and that was what I was doing. And I went, and nowhere in Quebec, I'm from Montreal, where anyone was using Google at all. There was no districts. And I came home after the Teacher Academy, and I was like, first of all, I was like you, I was the only person that was insane, like just so passionate. And I was like, oh my God. And I just had started working in this district implementing one-to-one programs. And so I went to the Innovator Academy, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to change education. Like, you can collaborate. Like, these tools are mind blowing. And I was in the same court with like Jenny McGeera and Jason Markey and like Bob Sprant, like all these like legends of ed tech that I like were and still are like the most amazing people I've ever met. And I went home and I was like, I'm not alone. And I sat in my boss's office Michael Kekula, who was and went on to be the director general of the district. And at the time I sat in his office and I cried and I was like, we have to get Google! And I was like, it has to happen. And there was like, no one was doing it. Like, no, I had no one to go to. I had nothing. And so he was like, okay, we'll do it. I piloted one class. That's how I did it. And then I presented to the innovative people in the district who came, who were part of my like inside group who I was training, the early adopter people. And then they were like, what is this? And it was one group, and it went back to their principals. They're like, I need this, I need this, I need this. And then within 2 years, the whole district shifted, and we piloted our first Chromebook one-to-one 2013, and it was wild. It was just such and we were the first one, and now we're not the first one in Quebec, nor are we in Canada. And it was like one thing after the other, and then here I am today. But I just a testament, like I ended up writing a book, the Google Infuse, like all those things came, but it was from that like immense experience of connecting with your people, connecting with the people around you who are just maybe crazy enough to like change the world kind of people. And so I'm so happy that I got to meet all of you guys, because I've been feeling a little disconnected, not from community, because I love our community, and the Adobe Creative Educator is so cute. This community is amazing. And I love this conversation we're having, because now with the Adobe Creative Educator community, we're really thinking about ways that we can really empower students to be creators, which is so in line with always what we were talking about with Google, and it works so well. We're all so better together. And so thank you so much for being with me this evening, morning, night, wherever you are. And we always leave off with a reflect question. And so I asked all of you guys for input for this one. And so we want to leave you with this question: how might we find our people to share our passions? So what are the things that you might do as school starts, or as Leslie mentioned, like we're about to gear down, whatever that looks like? What are the things that you might do to help you get started? Where might you go? What are the things that you're interested in? Questions that you want to leave in the chat. We'll be kind of going in and having a look and making sure that we can connect with you. But how might you, or how might we find our people to share our passions? And I think that's such a great kind of way to kind of send off, because this is community, and community is at the core of what makes us so much better. So thank all of you. All of my love to you, beyond. I love all of you so much for coming on and sharing your passion. And this group is so awesome. I want to do more with you guys. I just adore all of you so much, and I just love what you're doing. And I love the mission. It's
Come on, we will have you anytime.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Next week we have a parent training for Google. It's called Google Guardian. So all week, it's set at Central Time, but we'll have people doing trainings for parents, and then we're doing some Canvas trainings. So in September, come on.
Yes.
Don't ask me twice. I'm on. Let's do it. So let's do it, because there's a lot of ways we work well together at Adobe and Google. So let's bring those partnerships together. Let's get kids creating, Sparks on Chromebooks. So it's it's a family. It's just an extension. So let's definitely do that and find ways we can enhance creativity and get kids to demonstrate their learning and make their thinking visible together. So thank you guys so much. Thank you all of you for joining us, this community, all community. We love you so much. And good luck. This is a rough year. I'm not currently in the classroom. You guys, a lot of you are, or you're supporting teachers. So thank you for the work, all of you here. Thank you for the work you're doing, because I know that this is a stressful year for all of you. So I'm sending you all my love.
Thank you so much. And this is how it happens.
We'll talk to you soon.
This is how it happens, getting together. Bye. Thank you so much.
And don't forget to check out the globalgeg.org. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you, Tanya. It's been awesome.
night, morning, day.